Hey, welcome everybody to the Evan and Robert Talk Niner channel here. We created this channel, just wanted to talk football with my son Evan, mainly talk 49er football. We're just glad that you guys are all able to come here and check us out, join us, join the conversation. If you have things you want to talk about, you want us to talk about, definitely subscribe, put it on the bottom. But either way, glad to have you guys all here. And next to me here, I have Evan. So let's just say what's up, Evan.
What's up? I'm Evan. I'm his son.
I'm Robert. So we're glad that we're able to make it out here to Cleveland. It's a wet day outside here. It's the first day of the draft, 2021 NFL draft. The Niners moved up to the number 3 overall pick. We're expecting great things to happen. Definitely, the team's been up and down the last couple of years with everything that's happening. I mean, we were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I think injury concerns and everything has led us to the point where right now we're looking for our quarterback of the future. So excited about that. So we're here to talk about the draft. This is our first episode ever. We hope that we can continue talking for 49ers football and going forward. And like I said, this is our first episode, and it just so happens to fall right on the draft. And we're also here in Cleveland. We're going to go ahead and recap our trip here. We're going to go out to the NFL draft experience. Hopefully, get a chance to meet other Niner fans that are here, and we'll post those up in a later video that we do. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to recap every single day of the draft or just to put our thoughts out there, but definitely after the draft is over, if we don't get a chance to do it after each round or whatever the case may be, we will definitely do a video just to talk about our thoughts and our feelings and how the draft went in our minds and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys can all be there with us. So Evan, I just wanted to talk about a couple of topics. First of all, we are huge Niner fans. So what do you think? Who and what are some of the players that you like at key positions of need for the 49ers? And by positions, I think we kind of talked about it a little bit, and we think that some of the key positions of need are quarterback, offensive line, cornerback, wide receiver. So just sticking with those 4 groups, who are some of your favorite players at those positions and why?
To start off with the quarterback position, my favorite guy from this draft that I think we can get is Justin Fields. Strong arm, stands in the pocket, leaves the pocket when he needs to. For O line, my favorite guy has got to be, or a guy we can get, I think, Kendrick Green from Illinois. Fits the zone scheme, good size, 6'2", and corner. J.C. Horn, first round. I would have loved him at 12, but fortunately we traded up for a quarterback at 3. And a guy I want in the second round is Paulson Devo from Stanford, 6'1", 195. This dude was projected to go first round before he opted out. Even then, his tape from 2019, 2018 looks great, even if 2019 was a little down. And at wide receiver, one of my guys is Cornell Powell, 6'1", 210 from Clemson. He has strong hands. He's a little bit older, and it's a breakout season for him. 6'1", 210, like I said, strong hands. He's great with the back shoulder fades in the end zone.
That's cool. It sounds a little bit like somebody we used to have, right? Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
But I think he looks like he's got a lot more speed, and he looks like he might even be thicker, right? So
Yeah, he looks big.
yeah, so that's cool. So I think, I mean, we kind of talked a little bit off camera before we jumped on, but I think we agree on quarterback. I mean, I feel like Justin Fields is the best quarterback in the draft, and I think he's the best prospect in the draft because, I love his size. You said 6'3", 228, great athleticism. I think he has amazing arm strength. I mean, I wouldn't say he's got like the best arm strength out of all the players in the NFL, but he's going to be up there, one of the top quarterbacks as far as arm strength goes, right? I think he also does a great job of reading through the plays. He definitely is a pass first, but he has great escapability. And when I talk about escapability, I mean I'm talking about going against Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, and I hate watching our defense try to chase those guys down. It's so annoying. But now we can have somebody that can move around, can do those things, can escape from the pocket without having to run downfield. He can escape just by throwing time, and I think that's going to be something that we get to impose the wrath on other teams now instead of getting that wrath imposed on us, right?
Yeah. And from what we saw, or from what I saw, whenever he runs and escapes pocket, he runs to upfield. He knows when to slide or get out of bounds, unlike Trey Lance, who tries to run someone over.
Yeah.
But we don't know that still because that's from 2019.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance might have changed a lot. I mean, his throwing motion, he's already that's already changed just with working with some of the professionals out there. But you're right. I hate it when Russell Wilson runs and he slides and then we tackle him and we get a late hit on the quarterback call. I hate those things. And now we can get one of our own guys that can be a huge problem for others. So he's definitely got the 4.4 speed. He's super patient in the pocket. I know, and he lets the play develop. And I know sometimes people say he's holding the ball too long or he's standing in the pocket too long.
That's just Ohio State offense.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, don't you also hear people talking about how um, our quarterbacks now have to wait for the play to develop instead of just falling down in the pocket or spinning around in the pocket, stuff like that. And I think that he's somebody who's uh, I think courageous at standing in the pocket and willing to take the hit. I mean, we don't want him to be taking all kinds of hits, but I just believe that waiting for the play to develop and willing to take the big shots is something that we've been missing for a long time, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like especially with Nick Mullins and Jimmy G, they can't sit in the pocket that long.
Yeah.
And wait for the play to develop.
If they do, they get killed in the pocket. Flustered. Yeah, and then they'll have that look of, oh my gosh, like I'm afraid now kind of look. So, and the thing is that our line is a great running line as far as protection goes, but pass protection, we do need work. So, for a lot of guys who, when you look at the line, I mean, we haven't done any huge upgrades. We still have the same players. We hope that they rebound and play better than last year, but if let's say they don't and it's the same line as last year, we're great at run blocking. So wouldn't that make sense to have a quarterback that can run, that can be mobile when needed? If we have a great run blocking line, we're not as great as at pass blocking. So wouldn't it make sense to have a quarterback that's mobile, that can escape out of the pocket? Because sometimes the defenders might come through too fast, and you got to have that quarterback that can make that move, because we don't want another quarterback that just takes hits all the time. That's how we ended up with 2 injured quarterbacks last year. Would you agree?
Right. And 2 guys that fit what we want to move to are Justin Fields and Trey Lance.
Yeah. So, but getting back to Justin Fields, right? Another thing I like about him is he's always been an elite prospect. When you talk about from high school to college, he's always been 1 or 2 with Trevor Lawrence. And the thing I love the most is that when it comes to head-to-head competition, he's always beaten Trevor Lawrence too. So you could go back to high school, like the Elite 11. I remember watching that and Trent Dilfer as the coach and watching it on TV. And that was like, I knew a little bit about those guys. I knew they were the top prospects. I'd never seen them play before. And it was just touch football. But that Elite 11 game where Trevor Lawrence's team went against Justin Fields' team, and Justin Fields' team just dominated. Right then, I was like, dude, this dude is legit, and unfortunately he went to Georgia. I don't know what the situation is. I understand why he transferred out of there. I believe that if you're beating somebody but you're not getting an opportunity, you got to do what's best for you. And he went to Ohio State and he tore it up there. Played against Trevor Lawrence last year and dominated that game. And just those things. I think he knows who he's playing against. He knows what's on the other side. He always steps up to the challenge, and that's something that I admire about Justin Fields. Um, I also think he has great leadership. And from everything that you hear, the guy is willing to work and he's willing to work to get better. He wants to be the best. And I think you can't ask for more. Anything else to add on Justin Fields there, Evan?
Right, like you said, I think he's a great leader. An example of that is the Clemson game. The dude gets freaking bodied by Skolsky, was it from
Yeah, he
Clemson?
got he got tore up.
Yeah,
And how many plays did he go out for?
one play, and then he's back in, throws a touchdown
Right
to
away.
Olave.
Yeah, right away. So that's I think I think you guys have a good understanding after that of why we feel like Justin Fields is the best quarterback uh, for our team. So um, we also like the same interior alignment. Kendrick Green. Evan told you a little bit about him. I mean, 6'2", 305. He runs a 4.85 40. That's pretty dang fast for a guard. But the thing is that he plays guard and center. Last year he played 3 games at center. When I watched the tape, I mean, I just see the guy just pushing defensive linemen all over the place. Looks like a really powerful guy. He stands out. He looks bigger than the other guys on film. Um, he just pops on film. He's a I think he's a big play guy, super strength, great movement. I think I love everything that I see about him. I think he, like Evan said earlier, he's a great zone guy. He should fit our offense perfectly. You got anything else to add as far as Kendrick Green goes, Evan?
I love him. I love him, like you said. But the thing that worries me is I have a feeling he's going to go round two.
And I think we kind of both liked him because we thought that maybe we can get him in like round 3 or something like that. So I think that's why we both put him there. You know, uh, so hopefully he's there for us when it's our turn to pick. But I think, just on top of that, I think he's one of the best interior linemen in the draft as well. So Kendrick Green from the University of Illinois. Okay. Now I think this is where we differ a little bit as far as the cornerbacks go. So I believe Evan like J.C. Horn, but for me, it's Patrick Surtain, the second. I mean, to be very honest with you, I like Caleb Farley a lot too. I would say if I ranked him, I like Caleb Farley more, but I don't think you can go wrong with either. But that back injury is scary for me. And the reason why I talk about that is because I mean, we've had a lot of injury on our team. When we talk about back problem, me myself, I've had back problems. I've had back surgery, and it can be something that it can go away. It could take a longer time to go away, or it can keep coming back. And um, you never know with those things. The back is very scary. I think we've had Jalen Hurd, for example. We have D Ford. Those guys on our team, and we haven't seen them since they've gone out, and it's very scary for me, and therefore I go with Patrick Surtain.
Oh yeah,
So,
you don't want to forget about his torn ACL.
oh yeah, that's right.
On contact, I think it was.
Evan was telling me about Caleb Farley's torn ACL as well. So it's just things stacking on top of each other, and they're not like little injuries; they're major injuries. Although I mean, I watched the tape and I love the dude. I love how he plays. I mean, if he didn't have those injuries, he's hands down one of the top players in this draft. Definitely my favorite corner. But aside from that, I digress. I do love Patrick Surtain as well. I hear people talk about how athletically he's not the best athlete, but when I watch the tape, um, I like everything I see. I think the kid has great feet. He shadows receivers well. He's always in the hip pocket from what I've seen. He's always in the right place. I think he's shifty enough to cover twitchy receivers. They talk up with the hip for corners, and I watch plays where a receiver will have a step on him, and next thing you know, he's recovered into a nice position, and I respect that. He has great size. He's 6'2", 202, so he can cover your big receivers. He has great speed at 4.4. I don't get where he can't recover or he's not fast is coming from. I think 4.4 is pretty fast. And definitely he has the track record of just being a superstar ever since high school. I mean, he was a defensive player of the year in the SEC and super tough, super athletic, and I like all those things about Patrick Surtain. So As far as receivers go, I haven't told you who he liked, but um, the receiver was one of the toughest class to separate as I was watching the tape here because I feel like this class is very close. There's so many quick twitch little receivers out there, so many slot receivers out there. There's some really good big receivers. I mean, when you talk about top tier talent, I do feel like last year's class had better top tier talent, but I think there's more overall talent in this class. After combing through all the receivers, I mean, you hear of your receivers like Waddle, Chase, Devontae Smith, those guys, but I think my favorite receiver in this class is Terrace Marshall. I think he has great size. He's 6'3", 205, runs 4.38 40. He could play inside. He could play outside. He's got great speed. You see him just beating defenders down for a bomb. He's got great catch radius. You can see, like I said, he can beat defenders for a bomb, or he could take a short pass and just cut it upfield and beat them after the catch. And I think those are the things I love about him. I know that he's a touchdown machine. The last 2 years, he's been putting up a lot of touchdowns. He can catch the 50-50 ball. Like you say, great after the catch, great route running, and he always seems to run away from defenders, and that's something that I respect in a receiver. He can catch the ball in traffic, but he can run away from defenders, and this guy definitely can do it all. So,
One thing I want to add about Terrace Marshall Jr. is it seems like his stock is going to slip a little because apparently he has some lingering health issues, like, for example, broken foot as a sophomore, senior. Okay, broken foot as a sophomore in 2019, and then he suffered a season-ending leg injury that carried over to his freshman year at LSU.
wow. So that's something that Evan digs a lot deeper into. So, man, it's a good job. Good job for digging up all that stuff, And with me, I just look at what I see on tape. So definitely buyer beware. But if he pans out and those injuries don't linger or don't catch up to him, I think you'll have a stud on your hands. But like Evan said, you do have to be aware of previous injuries. We talked about that with Caleb Farley too. So that's what we have as far as our top players at those positions of need for the 49ers and players that we think can fit into what they do. So um, the next topic here, Evan, that I want to talk about is who are just your top players in the draft overall, regardless of fit or not with the 49ers, but just who are your top overall players as far as quarterback, offensive line, cornerback, and wide receiver?
Well, for quarterback, it's Justin Fields. And as for wide receiver, I had a lot of trouble like distinguishing distinguishing players from this class. But I think it's got to be Waddle. And corner, like I said, my two top guys are Paulson Adebo and JC Horn. Horn.
Okay, cool. What about your offensive lineman?
Offensive lineman, Penny Sewell and Rashawn Slater.
Okay,
I think if they were taken by the 49ers, they both fit in seamlessly.
nice. Yeah, I mean, I wish we had all 10 of the top 10 picks, right? I love the players in this draft. And I think here, for the most part, we still differ on just the two positions. I mean, I put Justin Fields down as my top quarterback. And like I said, top overall prospect in the whole draft. Um, Penei Sewell is the top offensive lineman. I mean, I think the guy's just huge. He didn't play last year. He played when he was like 19 years old, and even at 19 years old, he looked bigger than everybody else. And he can shift. I think he's got athleticism. He's definitely going to be a great player in this league. Um, Cornerback, my top cornerback, narrowed it down. I'm going to go Caleb Farley. I mean, we're just talking straight talent. I'm not going to look at the injury history or anything like that. And we're just talking talent. I'm going Caleb Farley. I love Patrick Surtain, but I think Caleb Farley just has an extra motor for playmaking to him. So he's going to edge out Patrick Surtain for me. And wide receiver, like I said, Terrace Marshall. I mean, Evan, you covered the injuries with Terrace Marshall, but I love what I see as far as talent goes, as far as um, what I see on the field. So those are going to be my guys. You know, and I know that we, like I said, we have um, different differences in cornerback and wide receiver, but I think all the guys that we look at, all the guys that we talk about, I think they all have a chance to be great. I think they all have something to offer for NFL teams. So um, next thing, I want to go into draft predictions. I mean, we're here to talk about 49er football, right? So um, Evan, what do you expect to come out of the draft with for the 49ers?
Well, for the 49ers, I expect a starting quarterback. Um, week one or not, depends on the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, which seems to be developing as of today. I expect to come out with a guard, a right guard, or maybe even a backup center to back up Alex Mack. Um, one or two corners that one at least can develop and one that can at least play now, and maybe a backup edge.
Nice. So um, definitely, when I looked at it, I saw similar things. I mean, starting quarterback, um, two corners at least, an inside offensive lineman, a wide receiver, a speed rusher. Because I know we picked up Ibukum, um, D Ford is talking about possibly coming back. I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, we signed Arden Key. We brought back Jordan Willis. We got some good guys out there, but I mean, if we can add that special speed rusher, um, I think me and Evan both like the same guy. I mean, we'll get into that, but um, if we can add that piece to it, along with Bosa, along with uh, Kinlaw, along with Armstead, along with what I already have, I think we can make that line special again, like 2 years ago. So now that we talked about what we like, Evan, who are some of the players that you would want the 49ers to take in the draft at some of those positions?
Um,
I mean, I think we've been talking about Justin Fields a lot, right? So
well,
we
I feel
know.
like I've already gone through my guys that I
Yeah.
want. So
Okay. So, I mean, definitely. I think we like Justin Fields at quarterback. I think we like Kendrick Green.
I wouldn't mind Trey Lance or Mac Jones either.
Okay. I mean, yeah, definitely. They're both great quarterbacks. Mac Jones, he's good at anticipation. He's good at his quick release and all those things. Um, I think Trey Lance, he wasn't. I mean, when I first started looking at quarterbacks, he was a little bit further down. But the more the offseason went on, the more I heard about him, the more I looked at him. Like I told you, he's starting to grow on me a little bit, and definitely love the backstory. I see the size now compared to what I saw on film a couple years ago, and he's changed. I mean, his story motion, everything has changed. So I mean, I just haven't seen him in a game, but I definitely believe that those changes have happened. His game probably may have changed as well. So I just think that for most quarterbacks, if they can get a chance to go to the 49ers, play under Kyle Shanahan, I think that they can have a chance to be really good. I don't know if the bus potential is as high with the 49ers as it is with other teams. So for me though, Justin Fields. I mean, if you're drafting a number three and if he's there, you want the guy who has all the potential that you can build on. So cornerbacks, I said two cornerbacks. Evan gave you his thoughts on cornerbacks earlier. I like Paulson Adebo. He's definitely one of the cornerbacks I think that we should try to get. Interior offensive lineman, Kendrick Green. We talked off camera about this too, and I think we both like Quincy Rochet, speed rusher. So as far as who we would love the 49ers to take in the draft, those are some of the players. So we're gonna talk about sleepers now. Deep dive into deeper in the draft players that no one's talking about or you don't hear people talking about, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. Evan, who are some of your sleepers that you have in mind?
um, well, before like all the draft process and when the senior bowl was barely starting, my sleepers were some of my sleepers were like Davis Mills, Quinn Miners, but those guys are blowing up the draft board. As for now, I'd say Demetric Felton, wide receiver, running back from UCLA. Kenneth Gainwell, wide receiver, running back from Memphis, and Cornell Powell from Clemson.
Okay, that's cool. He, he kind of did our sleeper list before the whole draft process. So some of those guys aren't sleepers anymore. So like Evan, I mean, I like Kellen Mond a lot. To me, he's my number three quarterback on on the quarterback board after Justin Fields and after Trevor Lawrence because I just love what I saw. I think he has the potential to be special. He just needs to loosen up his tightness. If he can loosen that up and just play more loose, I think people will look at him differently. I like Shane Buechele as well. So I think he could be a great backup for a long time. The only thing is he does lack a little bit of arm strength, but it reminds me of like a Case Keenum and Colt McCoy. So I think he could be that type of a player. Um, running backs. I like Khalil Herbert. He's 5'9", 212 from Virginia Tech. He's not that tall, but he plays big. When you're watching him on film, you can't tell he's 5'9". And I believe he has the potential to become a number one back in the league. Another running back that I like a lot is Elijah Mitchell, 5'11", 214 from Louisiana. I love what I saw on film. He does not go down easily, and he's a lot shiftier than you think. So, um, Evan, did you talk about your running back?
Oh, also,
Yeah.
to add on to the sleepers list, I got two more guys. Semi Fiocco from wide receiver from Stanford, big dude, 6'4", runs a 4.3, but probably take a shave off a few seconds. It'd be 4.4 still. Kenny Nwangwu, running back from Illinois, Illinois State or Iowa
Iowa
State.
State.
Sorry.
Yeah.
6'1", 215. He runs a 4.2, 4.3 at his pro day. Just when you look at him, he cuts through the hole. He beats everyone. Gets
I,
the end zone.
I mean, I didn't know who he was until Evan kept telling me about him, and um, because I never heard of him really. And then Evan told me the situation, and he was actually playing behind, I think, who might be a great running back in the future. But when I watched the tape, I was like, okay, this dude stands out. He just didn't get a lot of playing time, which is good because he didn't put a lot of mileage on those tires either. So, but he's definitely got great speed, great size. Evan says he reminds him of Tevin Coleman. I think he's just a way faster Tevin Coleman with more jukes. So definitely, I liked what I saw. Um, so he also told you about Fihoko. I think we both like him too. I don't know if he's really a sleeper now, but I think he can be a great quarterback. I would love the Niners to take him. So um, I'm going to go ahead and give you two of my receivers. I think Seth Williams from Auburn can be a steal. From what I saw on film, he always fights for the ball. He's always covered by the best corner on the other team. From what I saw, only wish he had better quarterback play. More of those 50-50 balls might have come his way. Um, he has great body positioning. He can get great positioning on even the great corners as well. And I think he's great at locating the ball. So it's not always on target, but he can locate it. And if it's in his range, he can make the catch. So I love Seth Williams. I think that, like I said, whoever gets him can be a steal. And I think he'll be a great third down wide receiver as well. Another receiver that I saw that when I was doing my top wide receivers list, every single time when I narrowed my list down, I thought I would take him off the list. I remember telling Evan, like, yeah, I think this is this is the time that I take him off. And every single time when I went through the tape again of all the receivers, he always remained on the list. And he's definitely one of my top 10 receivers. I haven't heard many people talking about him. He reminds me of he reminds me of someone. I'm not gonna say it, but I love what he reminds me of. I love how he runs away from defenders, and I feel like he can. He looks like he can be a special player in the right system. I think a great system for him would be something like the Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Chargers, places like that. I think that if he lands there, in those places he could be special. So Evan, I also want you to talk about I know I keep deferring back to Evan on these because he's the one that pointed them out to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have looked at him. And when I did look at him, I saw a lot of special players too. So I also want him to just share with you a couple of tight ends that he told me about.
Tight ends. So three times I told my dad about where Kenny Oboa from Ole Miss transferred from Temple, I think it was. He's just he kind of like in the Ole Miss uniforms. He kind of looks like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, like I told Evan when I saw this, I was like, I mean,
Same
he
numbers,
looks
same
just like
height.
Kyle Pitts. It's like everybody that loves Kyle Pitts need to look at this guy. They can get him in later in the draft. Don't have to give up a lot for him. He looks fast. He
The
looks
49ers were at his
huge.
pro day too. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that he'd be great in our system. But that's just one guy. Who are the other guys, Evan?
Trey McKitty from Georgia transferred from Florida State. Same thing. Just a crazy athletic dude who didn't get enough receiving chances. Um, two more guys. Crow Wells from TCU. He looks. He's not like he doesn't look as fast as the other two guys I just mentioned, but he looks solid. Big dude. And the last guy is Kylan Granson from SMU. He's shorter, smaller, 6'1" ish, but he's a great slot guy. I don't great slot guy. He's
I,
like who would you say he reminds you of?
I would say he's like a Dallas Clark. I was telling Evan like the 49ers shouldn't draft Granson because he reminds me of George Kittle. I mean, I'm not saying he's George Kittle, but I'm saying the way he plays. He's a catch and run kind of guy. You throw it to him and he'll catch and juke a couple guys and break it for 10, 15 yards. And I think the 49ers need like I was telling Evan, I think we need a red zone guy. And that's why the who was the guy you named before Granson?
Pro Wells.
Pro Wells, yep. I think Pro Wells would be a good fit because that guy looks like a red zone guy. He's a big body guy. Looks like somebody that can just run in the end zone, turn around, and you just throw him the ball. He just goes up and gets it. And then the kid before, Trey McKitty, I like that guy a lot because he just looks like a big wide receiver that will run over people. And I know he's got good size. He's fast. He transferred from Florida State, I believe. Um, to Georgia. And I think that those four tight ends, I mean, when you're looking at later in the draft, somebody's going to get steals. And I hope that uh, the Niners are one of those teams that get one of those steals. So that's cool. Um, another one I have here that I don't believe he's really a sleeper anymore. Jamin Davis from Kentucky, the linebacker. Um, I've been seeing his name on some of the mock drafts, highly rated, but never getting drafted on the mock drafts. And I thought that was weird. I didn't know who he was until Evan told me about him. I watched him, and
I've had my eye on him since what was it? Early? No, not even March. Late February.
early on. And this dude, if you guys have not seen him play, check him out. You will want him on your team. Super aggressive at the point of attack, good in coverage. You'll see him drop back, make interceptions, tip balls, knock balls down. You see all that stuff. He's a great, great attacker. I think once he smells the ball, he's just full speed ahead. If he smells the ball, you're not getting past the line of scrimmage. He's going to get you in the backfield. So I love what this guy brings, and I'm glad that Evan told me about it. I'm glad I looked at the tape. But like I said, he's probably not a sleeper anymore. I think right
Yeah,
now.
from one thing, yeah, from
Mhm.
what I've seen recently, he's going like mid to late first.
Yeah, so um, definitely gonna get a great player there. So those are some of the sleepers that we have. We did do a mock draft as well. And next, we're gonna go over our mock draft with you guys. We're gonna tell you exactly what we did in the draft and who we got. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. So we did a mock draft, and with the number 3 overall pick, the 49ers selected Justin Fields. So we got our quarterback of the future. I think we get the best player in the draft at number 3. This is somebody who is going to change the franchise forever. And in the press conference that Kyle and John had, before the draft there, Kyle Shanahan said he traded two players. He talked about the other teams. He said they traded two draft picks to get franchise-changing players, right? So I believe that he feels that this person that they're trading up for is going to be a franchise player, franchise changer type of player. So in our mind, in our mock draft, that's Justin Fields. So that's who we got in the first round, number 3 overall. Next, we traded our number 43 pick to the Buffalo Bills for the number 61 pick, the number 213, and 2022 second round pick. So you guys all know we traded away our 2022 first round pick. So at least in this case, we were able to recoup something back for it. And then what we did with the number 61 pick that we got from Buffalo is we traded that again to Detroit for the number 72 pick and the number 101 pick. With the number 72 pick, we took Paulson Adebo, cornerback out of Stanford. Evan, anything you want to add with that?
No, it's just all around great player.
Yeah, we've been telling you about him. When I first started watching Paulson Adebo's tapes from a couple of years ago, I thought the dude was like 6'3", 6'4", and I look at his height, he's 6'1". So he's tall enough. He's not the tallest, but he plays like he's huge.
Oh, he's got great speed too.
Yeah, great speed.
That is pro day.
And he's a tackler. Once he gets his hand on you, you're not getting away. So definitely a great player. After that, with the number 101 pick that we have, we actually packaged that and the number 117 pick to get the 83rd overall draft pick, and we used that to draft Quincy Rochet out of Miami, 6'3", 245, speed rusher off the edge. So, I never really paid attention to Quincy Rochet. I'm familiar with the name. Evan told me to watch him, and first thing I saw was just like a flasher on the edge, and I was just like, this is the only guy I've seen in this draft that can do that. A lot of guys, they'll push, they'll work their way around, but Quincy Roche, I felt like when I watched him, it was just at a different speed, and he's got a quick first step. I think he can be a really, really special player, and I think he would fit us very, very well.
He's got plenty of speed with 4.62.
Yeah, that's awesome for a defensive or an edge rusher.
Yeah, what 4.7?
Yep. So, and this is the type of player that we've been looking for. This is the type of player that we hope we had in D Ford, but I hope that we can make this happen in this draft. So, with our number 102 pick, we selected Kendrick Green out of Illinois, the guard, 6'2", 305 out of Illinois. So we both shared what we thought about him earlier with you guys. So I think we think he's a great fit, and we think he'll definitely help the team out a lot. With the number 155th pick, we chose Demar Hamlin out of Pitt, safety. Evan, you want to tell him what you think about Demar Hamlin?
I just love his game. I think he's one of the top 3 safeties in this class. I think he had great coverage skills when I watch his tape.
Yeah. You could see the receivers, even though they run great routes and they got him beat at first, he still has recovery. He can still recover and knock the ball down. He reminds me also of the linebacker we were talking about, Jamin Davis. I mean, he attacks the runner.
Yeah, he's not afraid of him.
Yeah, he's vicious. He attacks the runner. So he's good in coverage. He attacks the runners, aggressive. He's fast. I love everything about him. I think he reminds me of a more aggressive Jaquiski Tart. I think that's what I told Evan when I watched him. So we think that's a great pick right there. At number 172, we sat there and we took Benjamin St. Juste, 6'3", 205 corner out of the University of Minnesota. So what are your thoughts on him?
He's just a big, lengthy guy, quick, athletic, physical, especially at the Senior Bowl. He just shut down every guy he went up against. on the one-on-ones.
Love his physicality. I think that, I mean, if you got corners like the two that we've drafted here playing on your defense, I think it'll scare a lot of receivers. It'll scare receivers from just running across the middle. It'll scare receivers because these guys aren't afraid to hit. They're big players that'll hit you. So receivers on the other teams, beware. With the number 190th pick in the draft, we took Trey McKitty, tight end out of University of Georgia. We talked to you about him earlier. Like I said, he plays like a big wide receiver that will just run your defensive players over. So, other than that, anything else to add, Evan?
No, just very underutilized.
Yep.
And I think he could be great in the receiving game.
Definitely.
As a second tight end to George Kittle.
Definitely. And he's a great compliment to George Kittle because I think they play different styles of football. So that's definitely something great and something you want to see. With the 194th overall pick in the draft, we took Simi Fehoko, wide receiver out of Stanford. I know Evan talked to you about it earlier. We both love this guy. He makes contested catches. I think he'll be a great replacement for who we lost in Kendrick Bourne, but we gained size. And I think, when we talk about athleticism, we talk about ability to dominate because of his physical size, physical strength. This dude has it all. So at number 213, we took tackle Alaric Jackson, 6'5", 318 out of Iowa. What do you think about him, Evan? You told me a little bit about his play last year, so I'll let you share a little bit on that.
Right. This dude was projected to go first round, or starting from last year, I think he was projected to go in the first round. But I don't know, something happened and he's just falling down the draft board. I don't know what it is, but I think it's injuries. I don't know, maybe it was injuries, but I think he fits like Sean McVay's system, our system perfectly.
Yep. And if you're going to take a chance on somebody who might have injury history, stuff like that, we're in the later rounds now. So there it is. Take your chance on him. If he doesn't make it into the league, it was a small investment. If he becomes something great and reaches his potential, I mean, getting him this late is super special, right? Our last pick in the draft, we looked at it over and we just couldn't pass this guy up. So this was one of, in talking with Evan, this is one of his favorite guys, and
He doesn't have very much like film on him, but
yeah, there's not a lot of film.
from what I've seen.
But the name again, Evan, was pronounced
Kene
Nwangu, running back out of Iowa State. If you guys haven't seen this guy or know who he is, you guys need to know him because he definitely has the potential to become a pretty good player in this league. So
he's got low mileage. He's a great special teams player. He's got I think he's got track background and he runs like a 4.29 at 6'1", 215.
Yeah. So there you go. That's all you need to know about him, and trust what Evan is telling you. I think, like I said, the potential. I mean, I see it. I didn't know who he was either until we put on the tape, and I was like, this dude is just looks really, really special. So, watch him. I think we think he can become a great player. So, in this mock draft that we did, we got 10 players. We ended up with Justin Fields, Paulson Adebo, Quincy Rochet, Kendrick Green, Demar Hamlin, Benjamin St. Juice, Trey McKitty, Simi Fehoko, Alaric Jackson, Kene Nwangu, and we also picked up a second-round pick for next year. Almost recouping that first-round pick that we traded up to get Justin Fields with. We thought, and we talked about it afterwards, that we came out of the draft with this. I think it's a win. 49ers don't have a lot of positions in need, but we upgraded at those positions. We upgraded at positions not even of need. So I think the team got better overall. So hopefully tonight during the draft and throughout the next 2 days, it can go something along the lines of this. I know that it's not going to be like this because John Lynch likes to make his moves, but I hope that we end up with some of these players because these are great players to add. Lastly, before go for it.
For one, I don't think Simi Fioca's lasting till 194. He's probably going to go third round, fourth round.
Yeah.
And if we did get him, he's the same size as Jalen Hurd, but bigger. Oh, he's faster, I like.
Faster, yep, faster, and played a lot more receiver. And I think he was better at receiver too.
Yeah.
So, but me, it'd be awesome if we got him and then Jalen Hurd came back, and you have two of those guys, similar size, great running ability. I mean, one has great running ability. The other
I mean,
one,
Simi Fioco ran that dude over in the UCLA game.
yeah, we saw a lot of those. So that's why we both love this guy. So we had fun. Hopefully, we're able to get some of these players. That would be great to see them on the 49ers. It'd be great for us to have some of these guys on our team. So, last but not least, before we leave to go get ready for the draft and all those things, and maybe meet up with other Niner fans here and stuff like that. One more question for you, Evan.
Yeah.
Do you expect Jimmy G to still be on the roster after the draft?
From the way things are looking and from the news that's being brought out starting yesterday, I don't think so.
We were talking about this and we were saying, okay, I mean, we kind of broke it down. If they drafted this player, what's the need for Jimmy to be on the roster? If they drafted that player, what's the need for him to be on the roster, right? And I think for me, I've already come to the conclusion that as much as nice as it'd be to have him on the roster, we don't need him after we draft a quarterback at number 3 because really, I mean, if you draft a mobile quarterback, somebody who like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, I mean, really, what are they going to learn from Jimmy?
Yeah, and my predictions for the QB room to start the season, it's probably going to be the rookie, Nate Sudfeld, and Josh Rosen or Nick Mullins. I think they bring Nick Mullins if he's back or if he's healthy.
Yeah. But honestly, I mean, Nick Mullins is great because he's very knowledgeable of the system. But I think that I would love to see people with more natural talent. Um, because I believe that, I mean, if you have natural talent and then you can learn on top of that, you're already off to being a better player. I love Nick Mullins. I love what he's done for the 49ers, but I think physically, some of the other players that we have, or some of the players that we're going to be drafting, or the player that we're going to be drafting tonight, I think they're just going to have more to offer. So maybe you bring him in and to start training camp, and you see where it ends up. Maybe he can be practice squad, whatever the case may be. I don't know what the COVID rules are going to be this year, but I definitely love what we're doing. And as far as after tonight, I think it's okay to let Jimmy go because the player that we draft, I mean, many people will say that Mac Jones, if we get him, he's already an upgrade over Jimmy. So if he's already an upgrade over Jimmy, then why do you need Jimmy there? Um, when you bring Justin Fields in, he's ready to start right away. Plus, he has a different playing style. Um, you have to keep changing the offense back and forth too much. I think with all the quarterbacks on the roster, you have to change the offense, but you're bringing those guys in because you're hoping that we don't have those injuries. You're hoping that we don't have those things anymore. Trey Lance, I know a lot of people say you bring Trey Lance in, you got to sit him because he hasn't played for a year. He hasn't played a lot. My question that I was asking David, I mean, Dave's my brother, so that I was asking Evan was, if he hasn't played a lot, don't you want him to play right away and start getting experience? So, it doesn't make sense that if he hasn't played a lot, you bring him in, you tell him, hey, you haven't played a lot, so we're not going to play you. So now you're delaying his growth, you're delaying his experience. And I understand that there are still a few things that he need to work on, but I also believe that experience is something that can develop a player a lot faster. Yes, I've seen it hurt players in the past, but I believe that experience can help him a lot faster, especially with the new style of quarterbacks where they have the athleticism, the mobility to get out of harm's way or to try to get out of harm's way. So, um, that's just my thoughts on that. What do you think about that? I mean, what do you think about? Um, I mean, you said after everything that we've heard today, you don't expect Jimmy to be on the roster. I don't expect him to be on the roster either. Uh, but is it just because of what we heard, or is it anything else, Evan?
Uh, so you were talking with me about it. Like, I don't think Jimmy, what he does now, I don't think you can I don't think he can really teach the rookie anything, and like his footwork, that's just something I don't think you want. Like
It's
you want
almost
to
some of
see,
the things that he
yeah,
does you don't want your quarterback to learn or to like see because it's not stuff that you would teach your quarterback to do. But um, that's cool. We just wanted to put our thoughts out there. Definitely, you know, if you have any creative criticism, where we're definitely trying to get better as we go. This is our first video that we're putting up, so if you guys are listening, thank you. We appreciate it. If you like what the content that we're putting out there, please subscribe. Any feedback or anything that you want us to talk about in the future or anything like that, you can just go ahead and put it at the bottom and we'll definitely try to include it as content for our next video. So thanks for your time. Enjoy the draft, and we'll see you guys after the draft, and we'll talk about it some more. Thank you very much, guys.